Welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops.
Coach,
How are you?
doing amazing.
I know. First week of basketball practice for Coach Collins.
Good luck, bud.
I know. Pretty excited.
How's the squad looking this year?
Looking good. Week from Tuesday, it's our first game. No, Tuesday is our first game.
Coach,
Not a
what's
week from
this?
Tuesday.
What's this floating across the screen right now?
My ring?
What do we think? Are we going to get
One of these?
Yeah, but it's only can we
Get 4?
Yeah.
Maybe. Never know.
Before you retire, let's go.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
We'll do it behind the scenes if we make it there. Anyway, so before we get started on the topic, everyone knows the topic because they've already read the headline and they clicked on it, Coach. So we don't have to tell them the topic.
Okay.
I'm just saying they already know the topic. But we want to give a big shout out to our sponsors. Game Changer, awesome. Used it this fall for my team. It was great. Super easy to use too.
Super easy. That's the thing I love, that it's
free and
So go check it out at gc.com/coaching youth hoops. If you're interested in stats and how well your team is doing and use those stats for action in your practice, you got to have Game Changer. Go to gc.com/coaching youth hoops. It's what we use for all our youth teams.
And then
gc.com/coaching youth hoops.
And then we have what do we have coming up? Black Friday's coming up.
Oh yeah, Black Friday. Hey, we have a bundle for you, Coach. Everything you need for a successful season. 30 plus years of experience packed into a very condensed, mistake-free, right, version of what Steve and I know what works. Practice plan progressions, offenses, defenses, special plays. We took out all the stuff that didn't work and only are giving you the stuff that we know we've had success with. And if you check that out at coachingyouthhoops.com/black-friday. Again, coachingyouthhoops.com/black-friday.
All right.
It's only available. Just remember, it's only available till Black Friday.
I know. So we're running out of time.
Unfortunately, if you're
TikTok
listening to this after Black Friday.
TikTok. Yes. If you're listening to this in July and fishing, sorry, too late.
You can go sign up for the next one though. So there's a form you can fill out there.
There'll be a form. There'll be something on there. All right. So today we're talking about what, Coach?
Decision making under pressure. So one of the big struggles that I've been hearing from coaches is come game time, everything that they just practice is going out the window. Their plays, their offense, the kids aren't remembering what to do. Right. And again, this is a topic that you and I have that same, right? Sometimes you get approached that. I always watch the late night TV shows and they approach people on the street and they're saying, who's the 47th president of the United States? And you're like, right? You panic.
It's Donald Trump, actually. That's the 47th.
Yeah.
Where's your answer? Okay. Anyway, no, the thing is, I think it's both the players and the coaches. Like,
how so?
Well, I think the coaches have to be good under pressure too.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
There's 23 seconds left and you're down 2 and do you have the right play and you call a timeout? What are you going to say? And so the best thing you can do for this is put them in those kind of situations. Put yourself in those situations and practice any way you can and try to put them in situations that are high stake. Maybe the high stake is they have to do 2 burpees or something, whatever. But
it's a consequence. They should have a consequence, just like in a game, right? That's right. That's not, you're not punishing them.
It's not a punishment. It's just if they're competitive and they don't like to lose, it won't matter what you make them do. I sometimes, if they lose and we're doing like team stuff, they have to say 3 nice things that are not to their teammate. Like,
oh, that's great.
Isn't that great?
Love that idea.
So they have to look them in the eye and I go, you can't say they have nice hair. And you can't do something descriptive. You have to say 3 nice things about them as a person. And
I love
boys,
that.
For boys, that's really like
that's hard. Yeah,
that's brutally hard.
Yeah.
So that they'd rather run.
So then it really is. Yeah, you're really making them. Yeah,
yes,
earn
it's a
that.
consequence.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, good consequence. Well, and I think you're right. I used to beat myself up, and we're going to start with the coaching side. I used to beat myself up as a coach when of course, hindsight is always 2020 when you're in a game situation and the pressure's on and you're down, 20 seconds left and you're down a point or two. But in that situation, I used to beat myself up thinking, "Ah, gosh, what do I do, right? Because all of a sudden, as you know, your mind goes blank. And
Right.
so what I did from what I started doing, and I got this from you, which is the game scenario sheet, and just so, okay, this is what my team is going to do when we're faced with a situation. That
Right.
way, my mind won't go blank, right?
Yes.
And what I had when I was coaching high school, and again, this probably came from you, which was they kept on telling me the situation, right?
Right.
And they would read it off. And then sometimes that situation would go away and a new situation would come up, right?
Right.
But I love that because they were just whispering in my ear. Now, for most coaches that are listening to this podcast in grade school, right? Or,
Right.
middle school, etc., they don't have that coach whisperer. So
Right.
what do? Well, plan it out a little bit, like have some, common scenarios written down. I think that will help you as a coach saying this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, and just again, it's preparation, being ready for the test before the test is happening. What are you doing
Yeah.
to yeah. So that's the kicker is I think you just really got to think about that. What can you do to prepare yourself and the players for that? And free throws is another great example of feeling pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And we do a really basic drill to kind of build this where it's like they'll play. Sorry, my watch keeps dinging. So sorry, just it's real and I'm not editing it out. So anyway, coach. Um, There's only 24 hours in a day. Anyway, so we do a free throw thing where I'll put like three people at the free throw line and they'll shoot it. And if they make it, they go to the end of the line. And if they miss it, they start jogging around the gym until the next person out of the three people
Mm,
misses. So it just
yeah.
puts a little bit of pressure on them. And I think anything like that where you can be creative and put a little bit of that, oh, I don't want to miss.
Right.
I'm not trying to embarrass them, but they're usually joking with their friends and screaming at anyway. It can all be in fun too. But I think those are the kind of things as a coach. It doesn't matter what level you want to put yourself in that situation and your players in that situation.
Yeah, and just also remember the age that you're coaching. Their brain capacity and their cognitive skills, motor skills may not be there, may not be developed yet. So just keep that in the back of the mind what you're asking them to do and then asking them to do in a pressure situation. Just like, I think about this as, you shoot, there's actually a stat and I'm blanking on the stat. Let's say you shoot, you know, 90% free throw percentage, right, in practice, but it drops, I think, almost in half in a game situation. Maybe not quite half, but get the point.
Right.
It definitely drops. Uh, so, you have to expect that your kids are going to lose some of that edge that they have in the game that that they're showing in practice, where it's a friendly environment, so to speak. So you have to put them in pressure situations.
Right.
I also think that just how you show them how to do things, break your offense down, your defense down, your plays down into chunks,
Yeah.
and reinforce those chunks will also help. Uh,
And
and
talk
this goes
about talk
back to,
about how you do that, coach. Talk about what you mean by that.
so if
Oh,
you have an offensive concept, let's say you're running, 5 out motion offense, and after you pass you cut, so all you do is you have one person at the top of the key, the other person at the wing, you pass and you work on cutting, but cutting the right way, right? So you get down to the granular details, and it's just,
right.
you know think of, I hate lines, but just think two lines, one at the top of the key, one off to your right in a wing position, right? And
Right.
just passing and cutting, then switch lines, and it's all you're working on. Then you add the third person down in the lower part of the kind of the coffin corner area of the court. So now what does that person do after the cut and the pass happen, right? So then you just started, you show them the big picture and then you break it down into the smaller pieces and then just build back up from there. So
I love that.
whatever that concept is that you're trying
Part
to
whole part
teach.
or whole part whole.
Yeah,
Yes.
whole part whole. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And that will help them also just remember things. But I think Coach Collins is correct when he was saying you got to put them in pressure situations that have a consequence so they can execute. And what do you, okay, coach, what does that mean? How do you do that? Well, put, grab out your phone, and I'm sure there's no shot clock in your gym, uh, right? And make an
Well,
artificial
I just
shot
yell it.
clock.
I
So,
just yell it down. 10,
yeah,
9,
exactly. Yeah.
8, just make them. And that's, they start freaking out when it gets to
Yeah.
4,
Well, and the other thing we do the same drill every day. It's just it's a warm-up drill, ball handling and layups drill. And yeah, they have to make, I think my eighth graders, they have to make 55 or 60 layups in 3 minutes, and they're going full court,
right,
back and forth full court. And if they miss it, they go to the line. So if let's say we hit 55 and they're supposed to hit 60. So they go to the line and, they need to make at least 5 free throws. If they
right,
miss it, then there's a consequence, right? So let's say they hit 55 free or layups. They can make that difference up because they were supposed to get 60. You make it up at the line. If they still miss it, then there's the consequence that comes into play, right?
right,
Um, so they still have the feeling of the pressure layups because they know if they don't hit it, they're going to have to run uh, to make up the difference. So
right,
again, if we end at 58 and they had to do 60, that's 2 down and backs that they have to do.
right. So
So,
yeah. I mean, I think all those things, again, you can overthink this too, but you definitely want
yeah.
to put them in those situations, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and then again, what's the situation that you run into most often where your kids are
Stressed.
missing the mark,
Right.
right,
It's going to
on
be
the
free throws.
offensive,
It's
defensive
end
or
of a
so?
game. It's end of the
Yeah.
quarter. It's a last shot. Those kind of things tend to be stressful. Getting pressed,
Yeah, I was
pressure.
gonna say getting pressed or any kind of pressure, right? Could
Yeah.
be half
Getting
court
double
pressure, you need to
teamed,
get a
that kind
double
of
team,
stuff. So
right?
put them
Yeah.
in those kind of situations. All right. Anything else, coach?
Yeah, coaches, be sure to check out our Black Friday special. Go to coachingyouthhoops.com/Black-Friday.
All right. Until next week.
Till next week.